So I got a ton of invites on the bot. Did that on purpose. It's all good though. But that's okay. If you build it, they will come. Oh jeez, my kid's toy's going off. There we go. All right, so they're qualifying right now, right?
Yeah, they're still qualifying.
Cool. All right, well, while they're qualifying, we can go through the lineup. We got some number changes, a new driver or two. So in the one Chevrolet Camaro is that you already heard in his last Cup, well, league racing year. There we go. In the two, Kevin 1.0 returns to that Team Penske Ford. In the 3 is Wasted 88 in the Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet Camaro. And the 4 is Draven. Draven's back. What do you think about that, Doc?
Man, I'm so excited for the talent that's in this race tonight. I mean, with Joe, it being his last full-time season, you know, riding for the squad in BPM. You know, he's our only Cup driver, kind of like a Wood Brothers team, and so I'm pulling for him tonight. I'm pulling for him to finish well, you know, to just have fun, to lay it all out there on the track tonight, and hopefully bring home a good finish. And Draven, you know, he's been a stud, you know, in league racing for season upon season. And the fact that, you know, he's back, I really feel like it's just going to amp up everybody else's competitive edge, just knowing that he's back. That they have to really step up their game tonight in order to compete.
Yeah, man, going back down the lineup, we got Steve-O. He's a full-time Cup guy this year. He's in the 9 Chevrolet Camaro for Hendrick Motorsports. Mr. Williams changing his number from his beloved 42 Camaro. He is now driving the number 10 Ford Mustang for Stewart-Haas Racing. Big Jim, he's now full-time in the Cup Series. Of course, you know he's in that 11 Toyota Camry Joe Gibbs racing machine. K-Bart moves over to the 12 for Team Penske. Captain Killam, a move that not too many people saw coming. He switched over to the 14 Stewart-Haas Racing Ford Mustang. NR Lewis is now a full-time Cup guy in the number 19 Toyota Camry. KU B-ball fan. I'm not too familiar with this guy. Do you know anything about him?
I'm not too familiar with him, but I have raced, I believe, in pubs with him some nights with some of these guys in the Cup Series, and he can hold his own, so it'll at Daytona.
It will be interesting because he is in that 20 Toyota Camry. I'll get my words together eventually, I promise, for Joe Gibbs Racing. In the 22 TB14 Racing, he was a Cup guy last year, but only made about 2 or 3 races. He's promised a full schedule this year. He's in that 22 Ford Mustang. Shout out Joey Logano, just won Sunday. Gator Mike, switching cars from the 00. He was a little upset he never got that patriotic scheme, so he heads over to the 32 Ford Mustang from Go Fast Racing. Ronnie Mack, a new driver to the league. Well, kind of. He ran a race, I think, last year, but he's back. He's in the Cup Series. He's driving that 42 Kyle Larson Chip Ganassi Racing Chevrolet Camaro. Shadowhawk, who drove the 18 last year, is now in the 43 Bubba Wallace Chevrolet Camaro. Max Boost makes his way to Cup, so he's going to be a guy to look out for. He's driving that 48 Chevrolet Camaro for Hendrick Motorsports. And then to round out the starting lineup is Lieutenant Crunch, your Season 1 champion, still in that 88 for Hendrick Motorsports. All right, are they still qualifying?
I believe they have actually just finished, and as you were saying about KU B-ball fan, he just snagged the pole. We have a all Joe Gibbs front row with KU B-ball fan taken first, and then you got NR Lewis new Cup driver, raced many races with him in Xfinity. Extremely talented in that 19, and he's going to start there on the outside.
All right. So B-ball fan grabbing the first points of the season. Remember, pole gets 2 bonus points.
That is right, and those points could prove to be incredibly useful as the season progresses to get some of those play.
All right, Gator said we can join.
Man, I'm excited. So glad to have these guys finally back racing with all the talent in this Cup Series. It's going to be fun to watch tonight.
Oh, it's gonna be great, man. We're finally back racing. We're finally here at Daytona for the Daytona 500 at the Daytona International Speedway, the great American race, the race that everybody's been waiting for all off season. Here we go. So we got a bunch of talent up here in our Cup Series this season. A couple of new faces. But man, this field is going to be tough. Plate track, short track, intermediate, it doesn't matter. I mean, these races are going to be insane.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Avenged. I mean, anybody can win on any given track at any given week. So it's just gonna be interesting to see, who's the most consistent. I think consistency is going to be definitely key this season. And,
all right.
Looks like we're going ahead and starting.
Yep, as we join the action here, already live. This pack is coming out of turn 2. You got to excuse my internet there a little bit. I highly doubt the 48 of Max Boost was flipping through the air as we tuned in. So we have the 19 of NR Lewis trying to make that outside lane work, trying to get past the 20 of B-Ball fan. He isn't quite making it work. It looks like the lines are pretty evenly stacked here tonight. And the 20 is going to pull away with the 32 of Gator Mike pushing him. Steve-O trying to take away P3 from NR Lewis there up the top. Doc, is there anything special that we should look out for here at this track?
To be honest, man, I think it goes without saying, the draft. Staying in the draft, staying on that low line, especially early, just kind of getting a feel for your car, your setup, getting a feel for, who can push, who you can work with, who you should probably stay away from, is what these guys are going to be looking for early on in this race. But what I'm interested to see tonight is some of these guys working that top lane. We saw that in both the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series. Guys were a little reluctant to go up there, to move up high and make that high lane work. But I feel like a lot of these Cup guys, they've got enough experience that they can make that high lane work for numerous laps, maybe even go 3 wide. We saw that in a couple of pub lobbies that we were racing earlier this week with some of these guys prepping for this race tonight. So,
we got contact back here. Sorry, the 42 of Ronnie Max in the wall on the outside there. I think the 43 Shadow Walk got into him there a little bit. Now the 42 is going to fall to the rear of the field. I'm not sure if he still has the draft or not. Let's see if we can't cycle around to him and see if he's... Oh, I think he's out of it.
Yeah, he might just have to ride around, barring any cautions.
Oh, more contact up there. TB is Draven.
Yeah, Draven's up in the wall. He's not going to be too happy about that. It seems like these guys right here, these top 3 have got a really nice pack here going. Nose to tail, all of them.
There you go. Now, you mentioned trying to get that top lane working as a single car, try to go up there and make it work. The 10 of Mr. Williams, he's going to get shuffled out here as he just puts his car into the wall and just goes through the back. How many cars do you need on the outside to pass, I don't know, let's say 2 cars on the bottom?
I think you need at least 3. I mean, to be honest, I really like the high line. I'm not racing in trucks. I mean, I wish that a lot of guys would have just stuck, would have taken a chance and gone up there and made it work. But as you're seeing right now in the Cup Series, these guys have kind of figured it out. They're going to go ahead and shuffle down and just ride single file here for a little bit. But yeah, you're going to need more cars on the top lane to get around that bottom lane for sure. So
it looks like Captain Killam's going to get shuffled out here. He's going to go to the back. Oh, the one of you already heard goes up there. He's going to try to entice some guys to go up to the top and join him. I will say, running some practice race or pubs or whatever you want to call it with Joe, he may have lost the trust from a couple of folks up there up high, because as soon as he makes a couple of passes, he's going to dive off and do whatever's best for him. So, I mean, that's another thing that they need to look out for here. I mean, these guys have raced at plate tracks here the past, at least week or so they should at least know what the other guys are thinking.
Yeah, but sometimes, you want to psych your opponent out. I mean, this is a 200 plus mile per hour game of chess that these guys are playing tonight, and it's just going to be interesting to see who makes a move when they make it. But as long as you can make it to the end and stay in the draft in the lead pack, I mean that's all you're hoping for right now. You just want to, see who you can work with, who you can kind of trust early on to keep yourself up towards the front. But it's nice to see some of these guys trying to make this high line work, and they're actually starting to bunch up back here.
Yeah, so two of Kevin drives up to the high side there to try to lead that pack around this bottom. Looks like he's actually going to fall back a spot or two. Looks like that bottom's a little bit more organized. How hard is it to entice some of these drivers to leave that comfort of the bottom?
That's the thing, man. I mean, you see a guy go up top, and then all of a sudden you think, okay, well that's a free position for me. That's a free pass. I would rather take that position on the guy who just moved up high than go with him, and leave myself susceptible to getting passed by a freight train of cars behind me. So it really just takes commitment, and you're seeing right now a lot of these guys early on, they're not willing to make that commitment. But I think as the race goes on, hopefully these guys get a little bit more racy, and they want to go ahead and try to make some moves to make that high lane work.
Yeah, and there goes Kevin again on the high lane, and now Joe, as soon as he sees another car up there, he's going up there. So these guys are not afraid to try to make that high lane work. It's just they really need to get organized up there, because that bottom is the preferred lane around here. As we still have B-Ball Fan, and that number 20 Toyota Camry still leading the way. He won the pole, and he's led every lap so far. Now this outside lane, it looked like they're pretty organized, but they're still falling back. That's got to be disheartening, right? Is that going to hurt their chances of running this lane later on in the race?
Yeah, it might. I mean, I feel.
Well, they got a big run on them now.
Yeah. Now they're starting to catch up. It takes a little bit of it takes a little bit of time for that high lane to work and kick in. But honestly, that high line is where to be on this track. It's just that nobody ever wants to leave the bottom, just fearing that somebody's just going to take all their track position away. But it's good to see that Kevin 1.0 and that 2. Driving for TJR, he's willing to make that high lane work, and now you got a decent amount of guys committed. We're going to have ourselves a race here in the next few turns.
Yeah, we really are. They're making up ground on them even mid-turn. Now, one of those guys on the bottom that I could see coming up and helping out this outside line, maybe that 9 is Steve-O. Keep an eye on him. I don't know if he's loyal to Gator Mike. He's looking. And there it is!
He's gone. It was a good move. I
oh,
move.
No!
Oh, and he puts himself in the wall. Oh,
no!
Steve-O.
I don't know if the bump was a little bit too much for him.
Yeah, it may have been the draft or something. Yeah, he may have just got loose off that bump.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and now they're all gonna now they're going single file here after that contact. It really killed the momentum on that high lane.
Yeah, what a shame. That was pretty exciting up there for a second. Steve-O made the right call. I don't know if maybe the 2 sucked up to him a little bit too fast and bumped him out of the way, or maybe he got a little nervous. I'm not exactly sure.
Definitely.
But that was the right call. That was going to be a race for the lead there in the next half lap or so. And there goes the 43 of Shadowhawk trying to get that outside lane to work again. All by himself this time, though.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get much help up there. I mean, maybe some of these guys back, towards the end of this snake on the bottom will go up there with him. But yeah, it looks like Wasted, I believe, is trying to make a move up there.
Yep, there goes Joe up there. 19 of NR Lewis is going up there. The 3 of
11.
Yep. They might be trying to get this outside lane rolling again. Are you watching the stream? Do we know how many more laps left in the stage?
Yeah. 1 second. Sorry, I literally wasn't.
No, you're good.
Wait, we got 19 laps. We got 19 laps left in stage 1.
All right, as a big old logo covers up the screen of the cars heading down the backstretch. Appreciate you, 704 Games. I was laughing because Swamp said Steve-O was trying to side draft the wall.
Yeah, he sure was. I love either pay him, can pay off big, or they can hurt him big, and unfortunately for him in that case, it didn't benefit him. But he'll be back. He'll get back up into contention. It's just a matter of time.
All right, well, look who's got that outside lane rolling now. It's the one of you already heard, with the 11 of Big Jim still pushing them. Turns 1 and 2. They're even with the 12 of K-Bart now. That's for P3.
Yeah, they're gonna go ahead and try to make that high lane work. They're gonna try to get a run on this 20 and finally have somebody new lead this race.
Now, if you're the 20, when do you go up there and block that high lane?
I think you got to go right. I'd say probably middle of the tri-oval. You got to go pretty much now at this point, I believe. As soon as that one gets right next to Gator Mike in the 32, you're gonna have to dart up there to slow that momentum down.
Oh man, we got side-by-side racing here in stage 1 of the Daytona 500. We got Joe leading the outside lane here, trying to get some momentum past the 20. A B-ball fan who was in that 20 machine, currently leading the way. He's led every lap here so far in stage 1. Gator Mike in that 32 is currently P2. He's ran P2 the whole stage. And 12.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
No, the Gator Mike to me is really impressing me right now, and just the fact that he's able to hold such a steady line throughout the entire, throughout the turns, the backstretch, the tri-oval. Like he's just waiting. He's just stalking his prey, that 20 in front of him. He's going to make the move when he feels that it's right. But what's going to be interesting here, I'm sure soon enough, we're going to end up having some pit stops, some green flag pit stops, because these guys can only go 23 laps on fuel. And so with I would say about 17 laps left to go in this stage, these guys are going to have to pit probably once towards the end of the stage, so it'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out. These guys aren't going to be able to save that many laps of fuel at Daytona. It's just too big of a track, and it's too hard to save here.
Yeah, especially when you're running up towards the front. I lost my train of thought there. I had a question for you. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it just seems like that high lane, as soon as these guys start to get it constructed, they just constantly, it just constantly falls apart. They're unable to keep that momentum there. So we'll have to see.
It was looking impressive there for a second. And look, Joe, look who's back up at the top. And now they've got a lot of numbers now. They should be doing just fine. Well, the 14 kind of fell off a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like Joe in the 1, and then you got the BPM, or the FBGM, sorry, excuse me. The FBGM teammates of Big Jim in the 11 and then Wasted in the 3. And then you got Crunch up there. Draven just ducked down low underneath Crunch in that 88. But they still got a good, 4, possibly 5 car pack up top.
That's going to be Captain Kill him in that 14, staying down on the bottom, trying to connect up with his TJR teammates in the 22 and the 48. And not the 12. Wink, wink. Just kidding.
Yeah, that is true. Whoops, I did make a mistake, because I thought that was Draven with the Mobile 1 scheme, and I thought for sure that was a 4, and then I realized, no, the 14's got kind of the same
it's the 14.
Kind of scheme there.
Looks like he's dropping back there a little bit. I'm not sure what the strategy is on that from the 14. Maybe he went back there to collect his other TJR teammate, the 2 machine. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he could have. He probably waited for Kevin there to kind of keep him alongside him, so that way he can use him for drafting help.
All right, well, they've definitely got the numbers there on the top side, but I'm surprised they're not catching these guys pretty much at all.
Yeah, they're gonna need a little bit more help, I believe, on that top side.
Oh, huge run! Oh, and then it evened out. I thought there goes the high side. They're going to pass another row. Oh, Mr. Williams on pit road. There's another car. I just don't know who it is. Draven, maybe. I'm gonna try to come down early. We'll see how they handle this lap car up here. Oh, there we go. Yes, it can. How will they snake around him?
That's the worst place to do it.
Oh, what's the best camera angle? There we go. Sorry for the seizure. Those guys watching, I was trying to find the best camera angle. As a 20 of B-Ball fan goes up to the top to block the 1 of you already heard. Now, they're going to lose the momentum there, because after the 11 of Big Jim, it just kind of falls apart, and the numbers are right back to the bottom.
Yeah, they definitely, that top line, as soon as that happened, just kills their momentum every time. Just seems like that top line gets up to second, and then they just can't get any further. They can't get up to that 20.
I gotta say, these guys are pretty. Yeah, these guys are riding pretty smooth here so far in stage 1 for the Daytona 500. Not too much wiggling going on. Oh, the 12's gonna shuffle the. Is he letting him back in? He let him back in.
He's gonna let him back in. And that's going to
Oh,
stack
man.
up that 22.
It really is. And guess who's going to benefit from that? That high lane led by Joe once again. They should have a huge run down the backstretch. That's not going to be enough. I think the numbers are still on the bottom as they come around turn 3 and 4 here. Do we know how many laps to go on the stage?
Let's see.
Whenever they pass the line, I guess. I got to tell you what, the high lane isn't not working out of lack of effort. Those guys are doing everything they can to go up in that high lane and try to pass these guys on the bottom. It's just, like he says, every time they get organized and get a run, it just kind of falls apart, it seems. Do we know how many laps?
We have now 10 laps remaining in stage 1.
All right. Does any of those guys have their fuel window open? Their fuel page open?
So right now I'm actually looking at K Barton the 12, and right now these guys are probably looking at right side tires around 50%, and the estimated fuel that they have is about 6 laps. So these guys are definitely going to have to pit around lap at least at most lap 4. Like, they're not going to be able to go past lap 4 without pitting. So it'll be interesting to see how different teams work, how different drivers, how they're going to communicate when they're coming down pit road, and what kind of strategies play out here to see who gets the stage points.
All right, so we're going to have green flag stops here in the next couple of laps, and sometimes that's more exciting than the action on the track. As weird mic parties as some other guys, and so they probably got a plan as to when to come down. Now, some of these other guys I have no clue about. B-Ball fan, I don't know if he's in a chat party with anybody else. Gator, he probably picked one of the 2 teams just for this race. Shadowhawk, I'm not sure if he's in a chat party with anybody. So, I mean, this is going to get really exciting here soon. Now, if you're not in a chat party, Doc, how in the world do you know when to pit with these guys, including Lieutenant Crunch back there? I'm not sure if he's in one either.
That's the thing, man. It's a scary feeling. It's a scary feeling when you're there, especially if you're up in the front of the field and you have no way of communicating. I mean, some of these guys, they'll go ahead and duck below that yellow line in the backstretch to kind of signal that, hey, I'm pitting now. But it's really a helpless feeling, not knowing who's going to pit, not knowing if you're going to have any help off of pit road. It's just you feel helpless because you don't know. You don't have any idea who's going to be your drafting help coming off, and that could cost you valuable stage points throughout this race.
I'm going to tell you something else to look out for, or at least last night we had there's 16 people that are allowed in a chat lobby, and we probably have 14 of them, and every one of them in there we were all racing Daytona just last night. But the one guy that wasn't in there, was the 12 of K-Bar gets shuffled out by the 22 of TB14 Racing. But the one guy that wasn't in the chat party at that particular time was NARL Lewis. And then when we all decided that it was time to pit, Lewis obviously didn't get the message, and he actually slammed 2 or 3 cars because he was still going full throttle. So, I mean, some of these cars that don't know when these guys... And here they all come.
There we go. Mad dash to pit road, and Gator's going to lose a couple spots there.
All right, so we got the 20 down pit road, the 11, the 48. I don't know who else.
The 32, I believe, was Shadowhawk.
32 and 43. So these guys come down. This is a little mixed bag of cars down here. Not really any particular team.
Yeah, it's interesting that, the leader, B-Ball fan is down pit road. It's going to be interesting to see, with the 11 of Big Jim, his teammate of Wasted didn't come down with him.
Now, I got to say, there's more cars on the track than pit, so if you're still on the track and you can continue, I mean, you're making up a lot of time on these guys as they all dive down pit road. Just about everybody else comes down pit road, and they fan out. They must be in the same chat party or close to it.
Yeah, all of these guys are coming down. You got NR Lewis, you got the 88 of Crunch, you got Gator Mike in the 32.
They look really well organized.
That was very well orchestrated there by that entire pack. Kevin 1.0.
Oh, that first pack that came out, they're not organized with each other. They're running 2x2s, a little bit tandem drafting going on here.
The 42 is going to come back down pit road. Or Ronnie Mack, he's going to come down pit road.
I wonder what that's about.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. we're gonna see here what the running order is gonna.
Oh, but they
like.
could have had a little bit of different strategies going in, because Wasted's going to fall behind that 43 and 48, who came down a lap earlier, but they didn't have the same drafting help. The two of Kevin might suck back here to the 43 and 48, and he will. Let's see who's leading this back. Is it the 22, I guess?
I
think it's the
believe
22.
so. I believe the 22 of TB is in front, and K-Bart in that 12 is right behind him.
What about Steve-O? Is Steve-O not in the lead lap?
Steve-O's a lap down. Yeah, he's a lap down in 17th, but I think he's actually going to be he might play a huge role here for K-Bart, and being able to use him as a basically a drafting partner to get up to TV.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen here, and then it all depends on if they're going to blow his doors off or they're just going to fall behind and push, because they got a pack of 4 right behind them, so if they don't get organized quick, they're going to get their doors blown off. Do we know by chance how many laps we have left in the stage?
We only have 4 laps to go, so they're going to have to come quick.
Oh, yeah, we're coming down to it. The first stage of the season. Sorry, I got distracted by a text. Steve-O goes to the outside.
K-Bart used Steve-O very well there, and now he's right there, going to go ahead and take the lead. It looks like he's going to try to take the lead on the outside. K-Bart in the 12 Menards Ford is going to be the leader here with 3 to go.
K-Bart just did TB dirty there.
He sure did, man.
So I guess Steve-O's now in the lead lap, right?
Yeah, Steve-O's.
Oh, it's just 4 car packs looking to the outside. Sorry to cut you off there, but the 20 of B-Ball fan is being pushed by the 32 of Gator Mike down the backstretch. And then you got the 19 of NR Lewis pushing him with the 88 Lieutenant Crunch right behind him. They got 4 cars on the outside, only 3 on the bottom, and we're coming back to 2 to go at the line as B-Ball fan resumes the lead. Is he going to pull Gator?
Kind of cut his nose.
Oh, he pulled him.
Like he cut off. Yeah, Gator looked like he cut the nose of Steve-O there in the 9, and that's going to leave those 2 guys on the high lane out to dry.
They're going to shuffle Steve-O out here. You say, hey, you're a lap guy. Get out of here. As we have 2 to go in the first stage of the North American eRacing League Season 2 Cup Series.
Man, that was intense. No, it's going to be a race between these 6 guys for 5 positions. It's going to be interesting who the odd man is. Oh, K-Bart gets put in the wall. Looks like he had some contact there with Gator on the backstretch.
And there we go with the big old logo right my way again. But a B-Ball fan comes on the other side of that logo, still in the lead as K-Bart's now underneath NR Lewis. They're getting really dicey here as we come back to 1 to go. Trying to get the first stage win of the season. The 20 of B-Ball fan has led the majority of the laps here in stage 1 as he takes the white flag for stage 1. Gator Mike has been running P2 all night. Let's see if that's enough for him, or will he make a move late? I mean, now's the time to do it, right?
Now's the time to do it. You're exactly right there, Avenge. And, right now, what you got to do is kind of hold back. You got to, do a little...
the 22 tried to look high, but then the 12 stuck his nose down there. The 19... 19's going to try to save it here. He's going to fall in behind. The 22's gets shuffled out. He's going to the rear.
Yeah, they're going to have to drag the brake just a little bit to get that momentum going.
And here we go, coming around turn 4. I believe this is the last lap. I could be wrong because I don't have a ticker, but I think this is the last one. As the 32 of Gator Mike's going to go to the outside. No, he's not. He's going to, well, he did late, but nothing there. So B-Ball fan, the first B-Ball fan, yeah, the first stage winner of Season 2 here in the Cup Series. Gator Mike finished in P2, the 12 of K-Bart P3, and I believe the 88 was P4. Do we have an official finish there?
Yeah, I believe it was Lieutenant Crunch finishing 4th that stage, and then NR Lewis in the 19 after that little dust-up ends up rounding out the top 5. And so it looks like TB in that 22 was leading with 3 to go, and he's going to be the odd man out, unfortunately, not getting stage points.
Man, those guys, he was kind of left out on an island there. Those guys came quick, fast, and in a hurry. And once they got to him, they just they left him out to dry.
They sure did. I mean, honestly, I think that just Steve-O for K-Bart was huge there. Using him as just a huge drafting partner for him to basically rocket up to TB in 2 laps. And then that pack of 4 came around. It really saved K-Bart's race in that stage and allowed him to get P3 for some valuable stage points.
All right, so here we go. The 14 of Captain Killam somehow takes the lead on pit strategy if I cycle back around to him. I'm on the 88, close enough. So we're back green here for stage 2 of the Daytona 500. The 14 of Captain Killam's going to pull this pack towards turn 1. Now, this is going to be something that the 20 hasn't had to face all race long, and that's racing in a pack, a large pack, and trying to, take the lead back. We'll see. He's got a hole. Is he going to take it? He does not. The 48 is going to fill that hole, and he's going to suck up behind that 88. And the 20 is going to stay up there. Looks like he's dedicated. I hate that logo right there. That's...
Yeah, it's a freaking...
There where the cars run on the backstretch. Doesn't make sense.
It makes a better door than a window.
Anyways, I'll quit complaining.
Yeah, these guys on the bottom line, they're going to go ahead. Everybody's going to get single file. Just like we saw a couple of weeks ago there in the Daytona 500. These guys, everybody likes to ride that bottom early on, and then as kind of the laps dwindle down, people want to start making moves to that high lane. But everybody just playing it patient here. Everybody just playing it calm. And this is something that some of the Xfinity and truck drivers, kind of take a note from. Just being patient early on in stages, early on in races, not pushing the issue, trying to make it 3 wide, trying to get up to the front right away during a race. Just kind of letting the race come to them, and picking your spots when you need to.
You'll be surprised how far patience can get you, especially at a plate track here. But it looks like the high line's starting to form up here. The bottom lane's looking a little bit disorganized. But that 20 of B-Ball fans been fast all night. He's now made his way to the 4th car on the bottom. On that one, it's actually P4. We'll see if he goes up top here. And flipping the lag from Lieutenant Crunch.
Big lag, and
they're all going to check up. Oh, they're wrecking back here. The 3, is that a caution?
The 3 of wasted. The 3 of wasted is spinning on his own. I don't know if it's going to be a caution.
It is not a caution. The 3 of wasted. Wow. That stage is done for wasted, unfortunately. So now they've essentially. Now we got 2 packs here. Let's see if it'll be fun to see if that second pack can catch up to this first one. They got to get organized quick though.
Yeah, they definitely do. But I think it.
Well, with Shadowhawk up here taking the run onto the outside every chance he gets, they might have a shot.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there we go. I mean, that second pack is starting to form here. Kevin 1.0 is going to be able to catch the draft still off of NR Lewis in the 19, and they're going to be able to make themselves, they're going to be able to get some momentum towards that front pack.
All right, well, we have Raceworks in the lobbies interested in joining the league. Raceworks, I see you have a break coming in June. That's actually when our season 2 wraps up, the 1st or 2nd week of June. So go ahead and reach back out to us around then, and we should have a spot for you. We run trucks, Xfinity, and Cup. So I mean, if you're good enough, we got a spot for you. I think this season we're pretty much full, whatever. We have, 63 drivers in the league?
Yeah, man, it's incredible just how much the league has grown in just literally one season. And just the quality of drivers across each series. I mean, every race is competitive. It's going to be interesting to see, who really kind of emerges from the crowd in each series.
Yeah.
With our races avenged, it's going to be fun all season racing with you and a lot of the guys who have a ton of talent. I know Jaw, he's basically a pro league driver, in the truck series. So
yeah, just because it's the truck series, don't think there's just a bunch of scrubs down there.
Yeah,
I'm in there,
right.
Which doesn't say anything. Doc's in there. We got Jaws in there. Keenitz, full-time Cup driver last season. He's down there running the trucks.
Exactly.
I mean, we got some talent down there, so.
For sure. And seeing this first pack up here,
yeah, they're wanting to race too much.
They are. They're being way too racy, and they're going to allow this second pack to catch up here, probably in a matter of maybe 2 to 3 laps. This second pack is really catching them as these guys are trying to battle it out for 3rd and 4th. Honestly, looking at these guys trying to make that high lane work, I'd rather just say, hey guys, just stick to the bottom. We already eliminated half of the field from contention of stage points. If you guys just hang out down low and draft, instead of, you know, trying to take it 2-3 or 2 wide, trying to make that high lane work and letting, you know, 7 cars back here catch right back up to us.
Yeah, and there goes Draven and Shadowhawk again, trying to get that outside lane to work. 2 cars, well, 3 cars. The Crunches joined them versus 4 or 5 on the bottom. I can't count, apparently. But look, there's that second pack. You said 2 or 3 laps, and here we go. We're 1 lap down, and they'll probably be here by the time they cross that start-finish line again.
Yeah, they've got all the momentum back here, and all that driving, trying to make 2 lanes work, man. It just opened the door wide open for this lot of 7.
Now, what about that second pack once they get there? I believe that's Joe leading the way. Now, we know he likes the high line. Is he going to go to the top? And if he does, these guys that are with him have obviously gained some trust from him because they caught the lead back. Will they all follow him?
You know, I would bet that he would. I mean, if he's got to run, I mean, this second pack, they're going to catch up to him right here in the middle of the tri-oval, and I would venture to guess that he
they
will
got
go
a
outside. There he is.
Huge run. Steve-O thought about it, but then thought better of it. TB is going to stay down to the bottom. The 43 Shadowhawk saw him coming. He's going to go up to that high lane. He's been trying that all race long. And there he goes. He gets connected with the 1. The 4 is going to try to get up. It's tight, and the 4 made it. The 42 is going to go down behind the 22. Yeah, it really is. Especially with the 22 and the 42 dipping down to the inside lane, helping that inside lane out.
Yeah, they just sold all those guys out up top. And that's the thing. I mean, if you're there, say, like 3rd or 4th in that pack, and you see a bunch of guys in front of you go high, I mean, you hang with them for a little bit, and then you duck low. So now you're basically gaining 3-4 spots by going to that safe route on the low line. And a lot of these guys, they hate that because it's like, man, I want to race. I don't want to ride single file for 100 laps. But, you know, you're here to win. You're here to get to the front of the field. You're here to finish well. And so, you know, you run the risk of when you go high, that kind of thing happening where the 22 and the 42 just kind of leave you up there and take your position away.
Yeah, but also to kind of play devil's advocate for the top line there, don't you want to get up there and get stage points, right? It's stage 2. Every point counts.
Exactly. You know, and you know, at this track, as long as you can hold a line and stay in the draft, you got a chance to win. You know, obviously you have to be able to hold a line in the corners, not hit the apron, you know, not hit the wall if you're up high, be able to have car control. But, you know, it doesn't take as much skill at Daytona or Dega than it does some of these other tracks like the 1.5 miles and the short tracks, and especially the road courses, to run well. And so it's really a, you know, throw names and numbers in a hat, pick and see who's going to end up winning, or who's going to finish well. And so as long as you're in the front of the field, as long as you're in the lead pack draft, you got a chance. And by staying on that low line, it just improves your chances to be higher up and have a better position to really go for the win at the end.
All right, well, they're coming up on a lap car here going into turn 1 now. It's always kind of sketchy passing a lap car because it gets bunched up. Everybody gets 3 wide, but at different times. So maybe we'll see the snake or worm or whatever you want to call it around this car, but it's always a little bit sketchy. Well, they got maybe another lap before they get them, but they're going to get them, and they're going to get them fast.
Yeah,
well, and there's that logo.
That little
again.
White speck is becoming a massive white dot here in all of these guys in their visuals. But right now, from what I see, it looks like they got about 16 laps to go in the stage, and they've got about 12 laps to go in their fuel window. So once again, we're going to have about a 3-lap shootout after their green flag pit stops. Considering if it does stay green.
Speaking of pit stops, the 3 have wasted, went ahead and ducked down pit road, just probably halfway, to get the fuel like you were talking about, but the other half just getting out of the way. But once again, the green flag stops. You don't see that at every track. Like I said earlier, green flag stops at a plate track sometimes more exciting than the action on the track.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the strategies are what really separate guys in this race. I mean, anybody can ride on the low line, the high line, and just stay in the draft. But it's all about the calls you make on pit road. Tires at this track, they don't matter. Tires, as long as you've got, you'll be able to run every stage basically with a full set of Goodyears. but how you manipulate your car, um, how much fuel you add in, how well you get onto pit road, how well you get off of pit road, not having any penalties, not having any damage to fix. That right there is what really separates guys in this race. And so it'll be interesting to see how that all shakes out here as within probably the next, I would imagine, 10 laps, we're going to start to see these guys come down pit road.
All right, as these guys are catching a couple more lap cars up there, I'm not exactly sure who they are. Maybe I could cycle through.
That's going to be the 3 of Wasted after coming off of pit road, and then I believe that is the 19 of NR Lewis, his FBGM teammate.
All right, so they're up there tandem drafting as the pack is quickly closing in on them. We'll see if the same strategy plays out as last time. We actually had a little bit of mixed bag of drivers come down that first time. I believe Max was part of it, Gator. Expected to see more of a team-centered pit stops. Maybe we'll see that this time.
That's a guy that I haven't really mentioned at all tonight. Basically, the Dominator, our Xfinity Season 1 NARL champion, Max Boost, 27 there in that 48. He's got the lightning bolt on his car because he's lightning fast. And he's just sitting there in P3, just hanging out, man. He's a guy to kind of watch out for. You see, Captain Killam there in the 14. He's been a force to be reckoned with ever since I joined the league. He's always been one of the top guys in the Cup Series, and you got K-Bart in the 12, right up against his bumper. But that 48 just holding back on that low line, and he's got that 20 of B-Ball fan there who won Stage 1 right behind him. So we'll have to see what those guys do towards the end of the stage to see if they can kind of pass this pack of Fords in front of them.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see here. Now, that 48 is teammates with the 14, even though they're... Oh, NR Lewis in the wall up there. Wonder what happened there with Big Jim. So now he's coming back to him quick, fast, and in a hurry. They're going to have to figure something out here as they come into Turn 1 and Turn 2. NR Lewis didn't know what he was wanting to do there initially, but he's going to stay up high, and they all collect themselves back down on the bottom.
Yeah, that high lane was trying to work there once again, man. The high lane's trying to work, trying to get organized up there, and then you got a lap car in front, and that just kills them. So everybody's got to duck low, everybody's got to check up and just kind of file in. But Joe's going to try to make that high lane work once again. With I believe is that Gator or is that Mr. Williams? It looks like that's. I think that must be Gator.
It's Gator. Oh, Steve-O! Hard contact with Gator, and around he goes. The 43, the 42, the 32. The 19 may have gotten involved. My goodness, that's got to be a caution, right? There it is.
Definitely has to be.
Caution. So we have our first caution for cause here tonight, and you got to think everybody's coming down taking forward and fuel, right, Doc?
Oh, no doubt. And that really helped NR Lewis there in that 19. That's also going to help out Wasted, two guys who had just recently gone a lap down after some calls down pit road, and unfortunately for Wasted, that accident with some lag or glitch there by the 88. But that's going to kind of help them get back up into contention for this. But yeah, it looks like there was just some contact on the tri-oval. Someone zigged while someone else zagged, and just caused a massive pileup as everybody kind of barreled down through the infield grass.
And don't forget about how much it helped out Big Jim up there. I mean, he was a single car. They were about to come up there and blow his doors off. But now he stays on the lead lap, and he's able to rejoin this pack. And
after the pits cycle out, we got Max Boost there on the inside in that 48. That lightning bolt has bolted towards the front. He's going to have the 88 of Lieutenant Crunch right behind him, along with that the 4, I believe, is that, yeah, the 4 of Draven. And so that bottom line is going to have a lot of good momentum. And it looks like the top line actually kind of gets shuffled up a little bit as the 20 and the 12 kind of connected bumpers there and made both of them kind of loose there out of turn 2.
All right, so through the pits, the 48 of Max Boost now leading laps here at Daytona in Stage 2. We've already went through the field there a little bit, but it looks like some of the guys are getting teamed up here a little bit. You got the 4, the 2, and the 22 all beside each other with the 88, the only buffer between them and their teammate in the 48. And, Okay, that's just my screen, I think. The 88 gave the 48 a huge bump. Either that or it's just my screen lagged a little bit.
That's another thing about tonight. I mean, it is the biggest race of the season, being the Daytona 500, and also the first race of season 2 for this NARL Cup Series. But you know, another thing to add to this.
Oh, the 48 is going to get shuffled out here.
Yeah, he did. The 48 is going to get shuffled out, and I was just going to bring him up. It's going to be some bragging rights, you know. It's going to make a lot of these guys feel good if they can beat that 48 tonight. As our own NARL driver, Max Boost, very proud of him for qualifying for the preseason of the NASCAR Heat Pro League. And so with him in this Cup Series, you know, these guys are going to try their best to outduel him, you know, for some bragging rights, saying that, you know, they could contend and compete with a guy who's pro league worthy. You know, it's really cool having a guy like him in this Cup Series.
Speaking of bragging rights, Lieutenant Crunch had bragging rights all off season as the Season 1 Cup Series champion, and now he's leading laps at the Daytona 500. I mean, what a better encore can you have after winning the championship to follow it up with a Daytona 500 win?
Yeah, how about it, man? You know, he's just been so strong, and I know in Season 1 he had a lot of mishaps that, you know, the cars just didn't really, you know, go his way. Nothing really went in his favor. He would get kind of wrecked early on in the race, and he'd have to race his way back up and finish second over and over and over again. And I remember our interviews all the time. He was just wanting to get first, and, you know, he strung some momentum there, winning some races towards the end of Season 1, ends up winning the championship in Season 1, and now leading this race. Yeah, Crunch is definitely showing that he has what it takes to not only be a champion in this series, but also be a contender every single season.
All right, so back here in the pack a little bit. Gator's bouncing off the wall a couple times. He's going to go to the back. I think he tried to get up on that high lane behind the 14 of Captain Killam, and then I don't know if he just lost it, hit the wall. But once you hit the wall once, it's just going to find you again. So to the back he goes. I'm watching this Forge Raven here. He's kind of lagging off this 88 through the corners. I wonder if he's testing something for later, or maybe he's got something in mind for here in Stage 2. How many laps we got, by the way?
You're going to have to give me...
No, that's okay. Yeah, I understand. Big track and all that good stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have that number for you at the moment, but I would imagine it's probably within 5 to go, 4 to go.
That sounds about right.
Oh, it looks like the 12 had been able to get underneath the 14 there on the backstretch. I don't know if he went under the double yellow or not, but...
Oh, the 20's pitting. Why is the 20 pitting?
Not exactly sure. You know, that's a bold strategy there, Cotton.
I don't think it's going to pay off.
I don't either, but we'll just have to wait and see. But I think Draven to me is the most interesting. Well, we have 2 laps to go.
Oh.
But I think Draven is the most interesting pawn in tonight's race. You know, in this high speed game of chess. Just the fact that, you know, he's been kind of on a hiatus for pretty much the majority of Season 1, and you know how good he is, but nobody really knows how good he is for this season yet, how well he's been practicing, how much he's been racing, if he's got any tricks up his sleeve. So I'm definitely interested to see what that 4 has for the field tonight. And
yeah, we'll definitely have to see. So we're on our last lap, right?
Yeah, we're in the final lap of Stage 2.
And look how far Draven is allowing that 88 to get out in front of him, as he's got a huge run now. He should be able to line this up just right on the backstretch as they're coming up on the lap car. Mr. Williams, he's just going to get out of the way. And that stupid logo got in my way. Yeah. And it looks like he might, there's Mr. Williams goes. Oh, he puts it all the way through the grass. Save her. Oh, and it goes to the outside, but with almost no help. Only the 2 of Kevin following him. Oh, he's got to run.
Gonna try it again, and all this is gonna be...
It's not gonna be enough. But can he hold on for second? Because here comes Steve-O. His side draft, and the Steve-O side draft works. He finishes second, I believe.
Wow.
Swamp, he didn't wreck nobody with the side draft.
They go 3 wide across the stripe. Man, what a finish in Stage 2. You know, Draven definitely had that brake dragging down the backstretch, trying to get some distance to get that massive draft boost to make that high lane work around Crunch, but it just wasn't enough.
Do we have an official finishing order there for Stage 2?
Unfortunately, I don't have K-Bart stream is not helping me, but I believe it's going to be Lieutenant Crunch in the 88 finishing first, the 9 of Steve-O in second, the 4 of Draven in third. I believe I think is it the 42 and then the 14?
I'm not sure. It was too close.
I know the 42 is in fifth. I know Ronnie Mack, 01, he ended up taking fifth. I'm not entirely sure on fourth after that stage.
All right, so here we go. Back green, that 88. Lieutenant Crunch is still in the lead here as he leads this field to the final stage of Daytona 500. We got the 2 of Kevin pushing that 88 down on the bottom. It looks like the 48 of Max Boost is just going to get out of the way here. I think somebody told him that he was lagging, so he's just going to go ahead and get out of the way. And then the 14 is going to fall behind that 2 and push him, and the 9 is Steve-O right behind the 14. On the high line, we got the 4 of Draven, the 42 of Rodney Mack, and the 43 Shadowhawk. Trying to get that high lane working here early on in stage 3.
I believe they have 50 laps in this stage. And so they're going to have to they're going to have to pit once.
And it'll have to be perfect, like a 2-lap window.
Exactly. You know, they're going to really have to not necessarily conserve fuel, but just be kind of
cognizant,
attentive toward it. Yeah, exactly. Attentive to the fuel gauge, because it's going to be cutting it close here at the end.
Now, somebody I'm surprised with, he's got brand new equipment this year. That number 10 machine on Mr. Williams. Now, he did tell me in the first 2 stages he was just going to stay behind and kind of feel everybody out. But it's stage 3 now. It's time to go, and it looks like he's lagging back again under his own power. But here we go. The high line. The high line's got the cars. The 2 of Kevin's up there leading the way with the 14 pushing. The 32 of Gator Mike, you know he's going to push whichever lane he feels like is faster. The 3 of Wasted back in this thing after that stage 2 incident. Oh, and the 43 who's been dedicated to the top lane all night. He's going to dip down to the bottom. That was a little bit surprising. Go ahead, Doc.
Definitely. I was actually talking to Killam, and you know he was with Joe. You know he had stated that he really wanted to try to make that high lane work. Oh, and the 2 of Kevin, they're gonna go ahead and hit the wall back here coming out.
Oh, a lot of cars around, and around goes everybody. Oh, no caution.
Having a big jam, the 2 of...
Oh, and they're really not going to cause a caution for that.
Yes, not. They're going to
Holy
have the 3 of
cow.
involved.
Half the field was in that.
Yeah, yep. Unfortunately, TJR's 22, a TB14, is also going to get caught up in that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's incredible how that's not a caution. But apparently...
2 TJR cars, 2 FBGM cars. They're going to have to team up and be buddy-buddy here for a couple laps because they cannot afford to go a lap down here in stage 3 because they continued green for whatever reason, and we got 7 cars in this lead pack.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that somebody took Swamp's recliner, put it up in the flag stand, and Swamp is our celebrity guest flag bearer tonight. So he unfortunately was asleep during that little spin out, that little contact there coming out of 2, and we're going to stay green here.
Oh, man. Sleeping on the flagpole. I mean, shoot. Yeah, that was terrible. I mean, look, I know it's a game, and I know not everything can be perfect. But come on. You had 4 cars completely turned around on the backstretch. What are you doing? Anyways.
Yeah.
What's done is done. In the meantime, you got the 88 of Lieutenant Crunch still leading the way. Oh, the 1 of you already heard is going to try the outside again. To the surprise of no one. And
Killam's right there with them. Killam.
There you go. Oh, they got the cars.
Well together tonight.
You got some really strong pushers up top. They might be able to make it work.
I think Draven caught the wall. If
and
Draven
there it
didn't
goes.
catch the wall, they were going to have that momentum on the outside. Yep.
Yeah, there went everything. They still got the cars up there. If they can recollect, they've got some really strong pushers up on that top lane.
They do. They got the draft. Ronnie Mack in the 42. He's a pretty strong guy too. You know, with his skill set. So, you know, if these guys can kind of get bunched up and aligned and get in formation, they could definitely catch this field. And it looks like the 43 is actually going to drop back a little bit off the pace of that front pack.
Hey, Swamp, $20 is $20. I'm surprised they're not catching. Oh, there's the 43. He's been going to that high lane all night long. Or, yeah, it is night, I guess, even though it's daytime in the game. And the 14
Oh
and the 4
no!
is going to dip down on
Wow!
him.
Wow! Look at that! Look
A
at
little
that!
bit of chess being
That
played
TJ,
here.
look at that TJR strategy call. You look at that, man. They had that planned from the get-go. You know it, and that's gonna leave both Shadow and the 43.
Oh, I don't know. The
And
14's
Joe.
back up top.
Yeah, I don't know if he may have gotten a little tight there with that drafting going into one. You
The
know, his
4
car may
wanted
have
to go back up there, but no run. Joe splits it 3 wide, and there goes the 4 right back up to the top. Now, Joe's not afraid to split a couple of cars if need be. Oh, and he returns the favor to the 4 car right back down to the bottom.
Yeah, he's like, screw you guys, man. You're going to leave me up there.
Oh, Steve-O! Steve-O off the apron.
Tight. Oh, he's going to cut the nose. And that's going to bunch up Joe. He is going to have to get out of line there, and he's able to get back in there with Shadow in that 43.
I gotta tell you, with only 7 cars in this pack, this is actually some pretty entertaining racing. Even though we got 10 cars spread out throughout the rest of the field since no caution was called. But these 7 guys, they're going at it right now.
Yeah, I think, you know, after all of that shuffling between the 43, the 1, the 14, and the 4, Rodney Mack in that 42 was the last car in this drafting pack like 3 laps ago, and he's up to 3rd because of all of it.
So with those little switcheroos between the 1 and the 43, the 4 and the 14, can you trust them anymore now?
I mean, I think you can. I mean, these guys are just trying to make different things work. They're just trying to make a couple moves and see.
Oh, they're 3 wide!
Before Draven's going to go 3 wide, he's going to split Ronnie, and he's also going to split Steve-O.
Oh, and the 14 died.
Going to get to him in time.
The 14 goes down below him. He didn't stay with his teammates. So there goes the 14 to P3.
Yeah, that might not be too smiled upon in the TJR chat soon enough. I'm sure that there's going to be a team meeting about that move.
Well, here we go. The 4's got to run again. Let's see if he'll push the 1, and he will. The 43 once again trying that outside lane. It's just not going to work by himself as the 42 goes up there to see if they can't make something happen. Looks like the 14's lagging off these first 2 cars here. I'm not sure if that's on purpose or not, but let's see if he tries to make a move on the front stretch. And he does. And Joe follows. Oh, Draven should have followed him. Oh, man. They're getting a little bit too greedy. Oh, man, they could have had a nice little move there and a couple times beforehand.
Tell you what, though, as long as these guys keep trying to battle it out using the low and the high lane, you know, they're still about 8 seconds back, around 9 seconds back, but there's actually a good, decent pack behind this front pack that are single file just trying to catch these guys.
Nine and Steve-O comes back down to the bottom. He's going to be side by side with the 88 going for the lead. The 9 of Steve-O, the new leader here at Daytona. The 88 is going to shuffle it out here. He went to the high line. He saw it forming again and thought it was a good idea to go up there. Steve-O, who's been pushing him all stage, decided it was his turn to go to the front.
Yeah, he's up front, you know, showing off his hooters, and you love to see it. You love to see that 9 leading the front of the field, and you got right behind him, you know, he's just been stalking guys all race
he gets
long.
shuffled out.
Draven.
Yes, there goes Draven. Well, that lasted a whole half lap.
That's all right. The hooters were nice to see when they were out front, but unfortunately he's going to go back to the rear.
Yeah, at least those headlights are still facing forward there, not crunched up.
Exactly right.
A little bit of wrinkles in the sheet metal. So we're going to stay green here.
And they're battling out back here with the 9. They got a couple 100-car teammates with the 9 and the 88, but it looks like they're both going to be able to hang with the draft. I don't know. Steve-O might lose the draft. I think he's going to. I think
he'll be okay. So those guys were running P1, P2 for the longest time. Now they're running in the back of this pack, but still in the same order.
Yeah, they're.
And there's that logo again. Cool. Appreciate you, 704. So watch out for this 43. We already know that he is not content with just staying behind somebody. Every chance he got back there, he was trying to make the high lane work. 42 is going to go up there, but he's going to be by himself, so he's going to fall to the rear of this 7-car pack.
Yeah, he definitely will. Nobody's going to go up there right now. I think what these guys just need to do is just be content with where they're at. You know, they've got a decent amount of laps still left in the stage. They still have to make a pit stop, but as long as these guys just kind of stay up together and stay single file for a little bit, they'll be able to really put even more distance on the packs behind them and really make it about a 7 to 8 car shootout for a Daytona 500 victory, barring that we don't have any cautions the rest of the way.
Well, if they're not going to cause a caution for that other wreck, we might be okay.
Yeah, as long as Swamp's sleeping in the
silly.
flag stand, we should be all right with no cautions being thrown for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, that was. Anyways, how many laps do we have left in the race? Whenever you get it.
Yeah, it's still.
No, you're good. So we got Draven here leading the way with the 43 Shadowhawk right behind him. The 14 of Captain Killam down on the down on the bottom. Then you got that one of you already heard try to make the high line work, realized it wasn't going anywhere, so it ducked back down behind the 14. And do we have lap count?
Getting that to you here in 3, 2, 1. 25 laps remaining, so they've got 75 completed. These guys are probably going to have to come down for fuel. I would imagine probably within like 10 laps. At least that's what I'm seeing on K-Bart's stream. And that high lane is working here. They're going to actually make a run here on Draven for the lead.
Yeah, and there goes that 43 trying to side draft, running that middle lane, trying to pull some of those guys back. As the one of you already heard to the front. Now, if he wants to stay in the lead, he's going to have to come down low here because that top lane's falling apart. He's going to stay up there. He stayed.
Keep that lane working.
Oh, actually, it's not falling apart. Excuse me.
Yeah, you got Steve-O. Look, Steve-O fell all the way to the back of the pack along with Crunch there, and now both of those guys up Crunches
and
in.
There goes put 3 wide. Shadowhawk trying to make it 3 wide for I don't know why as they come to the start-finish line. Joe leading laps here at the Daytona 500.
Yeah, they definitely Steve-O definitely the beneficiary of all that. Just being in the back of that pack for a couple laps and getting right back up into contention in third. He's definitely being patient, making his moves when he needs to, and it's all about positioning, man. It's all about positioning towards the end of the race. You want to be patient as long as you can, and then there's a time to be patient, and then there's a time to be impatient. And with these guys still having to make a fuel run, I would imagine these guys are just going to kind of play nice for a little bit. And then probably within about, let's say 5 to go, they're going to start trying to figure out, okay, who's going to make what move, what's going to put me in the best spot to finish in front, what's going to give me the best chance to win this race for this season opener. But yeah, Joe, he's always tried to make that high lane work. We've seen it numerous times tonight. Him, Killam, Draven's been up there. The 43 of Shadow's been up there. And here it shows that the high lane can't work. If you get the numbers, if you get the right drafting help, if you got guys who can work together, it can definitely pass that low lane. But you just got to be committed. You got to be committed, and you got to have balls to go up there and make that work with a group of guys and have confidence in their abilities to draft with you.
All right, well, I think everybody up here in the top is pretty comfortable with each other now. They've seen that just about everybody go up to the top and make a move and it actually work out. This is exactly how Joe got the lead here, as we're about, I don't know, what do you say, about 5-6 laps away from green flag stops?
I would say just about, yeah. They're going to run out of fuel in about 7 laps, so they're going to probably come down with maybe like 1 or 2 laps left to go in their tank. Or actually, they may just let it run dry. As long as they're in a drafting pack, they may just let it go all the way down to 0 or 1 lap remaining and drive that thing till it's empty.
Now, is there any strategy for these pack of cars behind these guys that they could pull to make up some time on these? Whoa!
Oh, they got some contact back there.
43's in the wall. The 14 saved it from going down pit road. My goodness.
Yeah,
as they're going to collect it back up, they're going to have 4 cars back here. They're going to have to put in some work, but it is possible to catch those front 3 again.
Yeah, they've got the numbers to be able to make it work. They just got to hope that 43 could stay in the draft. But, yeah, it looks like Crunch is...
Oh, it looks like the 88's going to pit.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go ahead and pit. That might be a good move, actually. With there being 6 laps, basically, in their fuel window. You short pit now, you go ahead and get your fuel, get your tires. Come back out, because I'm sure you're still going to be able to... oh,
no, they're going to stay out on the track.
Okay. Maybe they just want to go ahead and still just try to get as close as they can with that squad of 4, work their way up to this front pack and try to get some ground or gain some ground on them. before making pit stops.
We have about 20 laps to go here in the race there, Jag. They're about 3 or 4 laps away from having to make green flag stops, and then they'll be good to go from there. I don't know why they didn't call a caution earlier in the stage, but we got a pack of 3 out there in the lead, a pack of 4 trying to chase them down. So we're going to have a nice little 7-car shootout here at the... We'll see if they have any takers this time. Nope, they all stay on the track. So one of these, if some of these cars that are not in this front 7, is there any way they can make up any time on pit road?
I mean, the only chance they have is all of them pit together. You know, make sure that you've got a lot of drafting help coming off of pit road. You know, have no mistakes on pit entry. You just hope that some of these guys, they get a little racy. Or make a mistake.
Oh, Steve-O missing the turn there.
Yeah, it won't hurt him too much. He probably got a little bit too much momentum off that 42. Got a little tight. But he'll fall back in line and be able to go ahead and get some draft.
All right. Well, that also he fell back enough. That 14 might be on him. Yeah, that might have gave him a little bit of a hook. There's they all 7 stay out for at least one more lap. We'll get an official lap count and all that good stuff after they cycle through the pits. But these pack of 4 have caught the pack of 3. We'll see if they decide to go high. And the 14 is going to go high. The 88's following him. The 4 and the 43. They're going to make the move on the outside as Captain Killam around the outside of the one of you already heard. Let's see if he pulls his help here. He just goes down and takes the lead. He's going to stay up high here, try to pull his help. The 4 Draven's in the wall. That's going to ruin the momentum of the top lane. As the one of you already heard should be able to retake the lead on the front stretch. Unless that 4 gets to him.
Those corners have to be cleaned by everybody in that top lane for it to work in those corners.
And here comes the 4. They're reconnected with the 88 and the 40. If the 43 can get to them and they can they're falling back again.
Oh, they got the numbers though. They got a 4 on 3. They might be able to make this work. All their momentum comes off of the corners. It goes going.
And Draven goes down to the bottom. The 88 to the bottom.
Yep.
The 14. 14 should have ducked in front of the 1 if he wanted to lead, but he stayed up there, tried to pull his help.
Draven's gonna let him in, I believe. They're gonna go ahead and drag the brake a little bit and try to use the 88 there for to catch back up.
All right, and now they're all coming down, all 7 down pit road. The 1's gonna miss. No, he saved it. Oh, everybody made it. Everybody made it on pit road. The 43 crashes, but the computer caught him, so he should be good.
Yeah. He'll be okay. He'll be able to hopefully have some drafting help coming off of pit road.
All right, we got some cars here. See what they do here. The cars behind them are coming to pit road. The 48 smokes the 22. Coming on to pit road. Looks like they still get it slowed down in time. Oh, the 22 is going to crash before pit road. That's going to be the end of the night for the 22.
Oh, for sure. You just lost so many seconds there just on pit entry.
Trying to get a better leap back. Does Steve-O speed? I think Steve-O sped. I think he did. He's still on pit road. He's mad right now. Oh, all right, so it looks like Lieutenant Crunch is going to come out in first. I don't know if that's Joe. Is that Joe in second, or is that... Yeah, that's Joe, right? And followed by Captain Killam.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if he's officially first, because there could be some cars that haven't pit yet, but once it all cycles through, Lieutenant Crunch is going to be your leader here in the late goings of the Daytona 500. I'll tell you what, if they don't drag back a little bit and catch Draven, this is just going to be a... Well, no, he's got a pusher. But it still has the potential of just being a 3-car battle up here for the win. As that one of you already heard, is just going to... He's flying, and the 88 is just going to let him have it. I'm surprised at that. Even though it's probably a smart move, I'm still surprised by it. Do we have an official laps to go here? Whenever you can get it.
Yeah, I'll be able to give you that information in about 30 seconds.
No problem. So Joe to the lead here late in the race, pushed by Captain Killam. Then the 88 right behind him. So we talked about all these newcomers, these new faces, and then your top 3 are your season 1 faithful, or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, it's interesting. All 3 of these guys, in the top 3, all of them, were in that Final 4 last season. As we have 14 laps to go in this race in the Daytona 500. But, even though it's a play track, you still got
13.
The the three guys who really held their own in the points and with wins last season, having a strong showing tonight. And as long as these three can kind of hang out with each other, just be patient with about 13, 12 laps to go here. It'll be a 3-horse race for a Daytona 500 victory in season 2.
They always say that plate tracks is just a crapshoot. It's just the luck of the draw. You got to be lucky to win one of these things. But it's really showing that the talent always rises to the front or to the top. And well, in this case, to the front. But I mean, we got the three. I mean, these three guys here last season, I think, had probably 80% of the wins in the Cup Series season 1.
Yeah, they really dominated. You can also throw in that two TJR's own Kevin 1.0, in that mix, as well as a guy who snagged a couple of wins last season and had a chance for a championship. But yeah, like you said, it's all about racing smart. It's all about being patient, and all three of these guys know that. They know that it takes patience to put yourself in a position to have a chance at the end to win races. And it just seems like a lot of these guys who have talent, they're just not patient enough. They don't let the race come to them. They try to drive over everybody using their speed and their talent to try to push themselves to the front, but it's not necessarily the best thing to do at a track like this.
And a good example being that 88, when he saw those two cars coming, instead of just sticking his bumper in front of the nose of Joe, he said, you know what, I'm just going to fall in behind him, because I'm still going to be in a good spot to win the race when it comes down to it. I think we have about 10 laps to go. Oh, we got a bunch of cars in front of them. Let's see if I can't circle around to them. Well, this is another 4-car pack, but it's not the pack that I was talking about. Here it is, Mr. Williams. Contact between the 32 and the 2. The 22. Oh my goodness, that got a little sketchy there for a second. They're all going to line up here and take off in a 4-car pack. Mr. Williams on the wheel. It's a learning curve for him. Kevin's going to lose the draft because of that.
Looks like we're going to have about 10 to go, I believe.
Looks like that 43 in the 4 is just really falling behind those top 3.
Yeah, he really is.
So we got a 4-car pack back here, but I think they are way too far back to do anything about it. The 9 is Steve-O, the 42, the 12, and the 20. But they're just now going into turn 1, and I know I'm going to be a little off here because I'm still cycling. And these guys are coming out turn 4, so yeah, no, this is it. This is a 3-car battle for the win. Because we have, what, 9 to go now, or 8?
Yeah, we got about 9 to go.
I think it's 8 now at the line. So what's 10 on your stream? I don't know. Anyways, I'll ask again when it gets closer, and maybe we can be accurate.
Yeah, hopefully. It's the thing is that a lot of the streams right now are kind of behind from the live. So I'm just trying to get a gauge for exactly where everyone's at in relation to K-Bart's stream.
It'll be interesting if they catch this pack up here, see if any lap cars get in the way, or they just get out of the way, or even if they're trying to get out of the way, if they'll get in the way. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this race isn't quite over yet. Even if it goes clean, any of these 3 guys up here could win this race. Shoot, they might wreck each other. Nobody thought Blaney was going to win the Roval when he was running 3rd place about 4 seconds back when the 48 just sent it in there and took out Truex. So, you never know.
Yeah, these guys are right now on 8 to go.
All right, they just crossed the line, so is that 7 or?
I believe that's 8. I believe that's 8 to go because K-Bart was 9 to go, and now the leaders just crossed the line, so that's probably 8 for them.
Okay.
But,
8 laps to go.
You got Draven and Shadowhawk just trying to work together, and then you got another pack with K-Bart, and that 12, the 42 of Ronnie Mac, the 9 of Steve-O. It just goes to show that we were talking about it earlier. Pit strategy playing a huge role in the ability of these guys to have good finishes. And that one costly mistake on Steve-O's part, speeding down pit road, getting that penalty, it really cost him a chance for being in contention for the Daytona 500 win. He was up there in that lead pack there for a good portion of this race. Had good position to put himself into a spot with probably 5 to go to get the dub. but unfortunately, the penalty is just going to kill him. So, yeah, these three are just going to be patient. You know, it's going to be a 3-horse race. The 1, the 14, and the 88. All three of them are just going to hang out.
All right, so they're coming up on the lap, well, soon to be lap car of the 2 of Kevin and that Ford Mustang. We'll see if he gets out of the way or he tries to say, "Hey, I'll be the leader of your pack." As he stays down on the bottom, turns 1 and 2. You got to think he's going to get out of the way, and he does. Now it'll be curious to see if he tries to catch the draft of Lieutenant Crunch.
Yeah, definitely.
He's going to try.
He's going to try to get up there, and that's only going to help this pack, to be honest. As long as the 2 is just patient and wants to stay behind this group of 3, you know, that's going to help him out, hopefully gain some positions, you know, if he's got enough time to catch anybody. That pack up there of 4. But yeah, there's nothing really that can change the outcome of this race unless there's a caution. But you know, with these 3 guys, they really just become the class of the field after that last string of pit stops.
Oh, what is Kevin doing? No, you're ruining my camera shot, Kevin.
Damn it, Kevin.
There you go. Stay in that. All right, so how many laps we got going? What's this, 5 at the line?
We have, I believe, 4 at the line.
4 at the line?
4 at the line right now, yep, so 4 to go.
All right, so only 4 laps remaining in the Daytona 500. You got Joe, Captain Killam, Lieutenant Crunch running P1 through 3. The Season 1 veterans here battling for the Daytona 500 championship. I appreciate Kevin strapping on a camera to that number 2 Ford Mustang. We're going to have a really good view at the finish here. As they come back around. What was it for? Oh, Kevin, don't ruin the camera. Oh, Kevin ruined the camera.
He's going to smack the wall there going into 3.
Oh, he might catch the draft. What's this, 3 to go now?
I believe, yes, 3 to go.
All right, just want to be sure. 3 to go.
3 to go with 3 cars, all for a chance for a Daytona 500 championship trophy.
All right, well, here we go. They're wiggling a little bit more. Do you think that's because the tire fall off, or are they just getting a little impatient with each other?
Probably just testing the waters, you know, seeing, I mean, Killam's going to need that 88 to go with him, no doubt about it. Those 2 back there are going to have to make a move on the 1 in order for him to make it work, because you got to think Joe's just going to hang down low. It's really the only move he has is to just stick to the bottom, you know, just let it ride and hope that those 2 guys behind him don't really get that much of a run. You know, if he has to, he's going to have to block, but
2 to go.
You know, with 2 to go, yeah, 2 to go, it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what strategy plays out. I think Killam's just trying to get a gauge for what Crunch wants to do, but who knows? Will he go with him? Will he hang him out to dry? Will Crunch take the bottom and try to take second away from Killam? How will that
now, these guys do. It's probably Crunch. My wonder is the 88 going to push the 14, or is he going to be a little bit greedy and try to take away second place?
That's exactly right. You know, it's what's going to happen here as we now come, I believe, to
1 to go. Presented by Credit One Bank, and we're going to change our camera angle. So there we go. Didn't take too long. To Joe. That way we have a little bit of a better angle to see if it does come down to the line. Who won? Let's see. This would be a good angle. I don't want to stay there the whole time. Oh, no. There we go. No, I messed it up again.
They're going to come down the back stretch. You're going to have...
There we go. The 88's up to the top. And they fall back behind. If they're going to make a move, it's going to have to be on the front stretch. As the 1 of you already heard is leading this pack through turns 3 and 4 for the Daytona 500 win. But here comes the 14 of Captain Killam. He's stalking his prey. He's going to have a run. Is it going to be enough? He's got to run on the outside. And Joe, you already heard, Daytona 500 champion in his last league racing season. Kicks it off with a win.
What a feel-good story for Joe, man. You know, he's worked so hard, you know, at league racing for many seasons in multiple leagues, and to have him out out here tonight representing BPM. Gives our team its first team victory. It's great, man. It's a great feeling to see Joe in victory lane. Just knowing, it's his last full season, and for him to get this win, it's definitely a sentimental favorite for tonight.
All right, well, I'm sure he's got the fan vote of FBGM as well. If you don't mind, sir, so that way the stream doesn't go to a blue screen, do you mind inviting Joe in here?
Oh, not at all.
Oh, it's my lobby. I'm still going to have to approve him. We'll fix that next time. But you can still invite him. I'll approve him, but we're still going to go to a blue screen. But we'll get the kinks worked out for Atlanta.
Let's see here.
While we're waiting on Joe, that was a little bit of anticlimactic finish there at the end. I thought we would see a little bit more of an aggressive move made by Killam. Maybe he didn't quite trust that 88 behind him. Let me go ahead and add. All right, so we got the Daytona 500 champion on his way into the lobby. But what I was saying, Doc, I was a little anticlimactic there at the end. I thought we were going to see a little bit more of an aggressive move there for the finish. Somebody trying to get that first win of season 2. But hey, it is what it is. A little side-by-side racing there at the end. That was a little exciting. Unfortunately, that wreck came out early stage 3. No caution called. That really kind of... And don't get me wrong, it was still great. We had a 7-car pack up there, but it put a little bit of water on the fire as the Daytona 500 champion is now in the lobby. You already heard the Daytona 500 champion. How you feeling, bud?
Man, just awesome. Can't thank enough of Crunch. Just obviously he was came out there in front of us at the end, but he was respectful and dropped back behind us with his lag a little bit, but. Man, I just can't even put into words how fun that was, man. Just a terrible day in terms of stage points, but to come out with a win, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised by that as well. I thought maybe he would try to stay in front of you guys, but he dropped to the back and he stayed with you guys, and now that little 3-car pack pulled away. Now, I do want to ask about the high line here tonight. Now, every chance that you got, you went up to the high line. What was kind of the thought behind that?
Just trying to get in front of the 22 car. I don't know what it was, but he was just kind of swerving, and I don't know if it was just because he was tired or whatever, but we came into tonight just really wanting to work that high line, try to work the game plan. We get up to third, and then the car just kind of stalled out. We just didn't have enough momentum coming from the back, but it's fun. The first 2 stages, I think y'all got enough footage of going too wide the whole time, and it just shows how talented these group of guys are up in Cup. And, man, I want to be a part of it, man. And, it didn't get me stage points, but it was still fun on my end.
It was definitely fun up here in the booth to call it. Doc, anything for our race winner?
Man, I am so freaking happy you won that race. I'm so proud of you, buddy. It was a hell of a race by everybody in this Cup Series, and I'm just excited to see, this series as the season progresses, with all the talent in it. But how does it feel, man, getting that first win for BPM and your last full-time season driver in the NARL? Getting that Daytona 500, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, obviously the goal was to get to Vegas and compete for a championship, but to start this season with a Daytona 500 win, man, it's unreal, and glad to first race with BPM go ahead and notch a win under the belt. So can't say I didn't do anything for him. So, but it's just awesome, man. It those first 2 stages after, I couldn't get any stage points, couldn't really move up the field. Just kind of hung in there, stayed patient, and man, we got lucky there at the end, and it's just an awesome feeling, man. That's all I can say.
BPM in their inaugural Cup race wins the race. Now, Joe, Doc, this is a new team. Tell everybody what BPM stands for.
I'll let
You
Don
wanna
take this one.
Oh hell. So one of
PG-13,
Joe's,
please.
yeah, we'll try. I don't know if I can. But anyway, so one of Joe's best buddies back home. I'm sure a lot of the guys in the league know him as Bobby. He's in our league in our league chats and whatnot during public lobbies and all sorts of stuff. He has an infatuation with pillows, and so we decided to call our team or name our team Bobby's Pillow Motorsports, or BPM, in honor of Joe's last full-time season in league racing. So
All right. Well,
it was
fair
really
enough.
constructed for him. It was constructed for Bobby, obviously, as well. He seems to be gaining a lot of popularity amongst all the league drivers and some others as well.
All right.
And
Well,
I figured we do him a solid by having BPM and having him as our mascot for the team.
fair enough. Joe, speaking of mascots, anybody you want to shout out here, bud, before we move on to our runner-up finisher?
Shout out obviously BPM. First race, first dub. Yeah, shout out to my girlfriend and my dog too while I'm at it, man. Shit, last full-time season. Obviously, once this is over, I got more time to spend with them, so can't wait, man. Glad this is all worth it to come out with a dub.
Oh, you had to finish talking as soon as I was mid-swig. Oh, that hurt. All right, Joe. Well, hey, good job tonight, man. You got that first win out of the way. That's always the hardest. They'll start flowing in now, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again up here in the booth soon.
2-4. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, it was killing. Apologize for the blue screen again. We'll get that kink worked out next time. Maybe Doc will create the lobby and invite. That way it doesn't see the blue screen on my screen. But that's okay. First Cup Series race of the year. We got some of those stuff that we can work out, and we got a solution for it. So just hang in there with us. As Joe has left the party, now we're just waiting for Kilm to join.
Oh, he's here.
And there he is, the runner-up finisher, Captain Kilm. Now, Kilm, we know you're one position away from where you wanted to be. But how you feeling tonight, man? You got to feel pretty good about your performance.
Yeah, disappointed in the finish in that I didn't get quite the run I thought I was going to, coming out of 4. Congratulations to Hurd on winning the 500. But I'll tell you what, that was an awesome race from start to finish for everybody, minus some, I guess, lag issues and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely entertaining to watch up here. Now, did you see the wreck there to start stage 3? And if so, what are your thoughts on that?
So I don't know what happened that you're talking about. I know at one point we were going through the turn, K-Bart came up into maybe Kelvin, I think. And then I went under K-Bart and hit the glitch going into 3 and got into K-Bart. I don't know if that's what caused the wreck y'all are talking about.
I'm not sure. I don't quite remember the beginning of the wreck. However, 4 or 5 cars were turned around on the backstretch and no caution was called by the game.
Yeah, that's no good. I was wondering what happened because I looked back, and after the incident I'm talking about, I thought K-Bart had the draft, everybody was good, and then shortly thereafter I looked back and there was hardly anybody left in the front pack. So
Yeah. Well, it happened. They didn't cause a caution, so it was a 7-car breakaway there for the majority of stage 3. And you guys were going at it. Talk about a little bit of that, man. I mean, 4 cars on top, 3 on the bottom, and it just going back and forth. You and Draven at one point pushed the top and then dived back down to the bottom. What was kind of going through your heads there?
It was fun. I think part of that was an extension of the beginning of the race. You know, the first 2/3 where we were running the full pack 2 wide, lap after lap after lap after lap. And that's fun to do. And so when it got down to just us, we kept trying to get, the high line to run, and then if it would die out, we were diving all over the place. All of that was a blast. I did figure out something about this game in that race that I hadn't experienced yet until in this race.
Oh.
So there were times where I was on the low line, but I was the last car in the line. And then the high line would be above me, right? And they would have a lot of momentum. and the side draft off the high line would keep me from pulling up to the guy in front of me on the inside line. I don't know if y'all caught it. I was following Max Boost, and I mean, I had it floored, and I just fell all the way back and had to pull in line behind the high line, actually.
Oh, so 704 can add the side draft, but we can't have a ticker. Got it. Doc, anything for a runner-up finisher?
Yeah, just to kind of go off of what Avenge said, you know, I know you wanted to finish one spot ahead where you ended up tonight, but it was really fun watching you be patient. You know, I was talking a lot to Avenge in the booth about just patience and working the high line and the low line and just putting yourself in a position to be at the end of the race where you can make a move to win it. On that very last lap, you mentioned that you didn't think you got the run that you were gonna get. We were watching it in the booth. You had dragged the brake a little bit there going into 3 to get yourself some distance behind that 1, but it just didn't seem like with you and Crunch, you were able to get that draft to get past the 1 and really slingshot past with all the momentum coming out of 4. By any chance, would you have done anything different? Would you have, you know, kept your bumper up towards the back of Herds there for that final turn, or?
No, because I think if you're riding too close to the people, like if it's one guy or multiple people in front of you to make that move, if you're too close to them, you're not going to get enough of a run to get around them. So what I would have actually, if I could go back and redo it again, I would have backed up a little bit sooner and maybe got in the gas right as we went into 3. Instead of making the gap going into 3 and trying to suck up from there. So I think that's really where it went wrong. It's just weird though, because it didn't suck up like I'm used to, and it may have been because I did things a little bit different that time. So.
All right, Kevin. Well, you know, run-up finish, you know, that's nothing to go home and pout about. So, I mean, you did a great job tonight. Anybody want to shout out here before we go ahead and end the broadcast?
Yeah, a couple things. One, Draven's back. He got 4th place. That's a good way to start back for him. And also, how about the battle at the end of the race between the 3 guys that were battling at the end of the race in last season's championship? I think that's pretty cool that it turned out that way. And all the TJR guys. So.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We pointed that out a couple of times in the broadcast. You know, some people, and I'm a little bit of a side rant here, but some people say, oh, it's a little bit luck going into a plate race, but it's always seems that the talented guys are finishing out front. But anyways, so tomorrow. Wait, what? Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. We got the truck guys going at it.
Look, we're in the cockpit tomorrow there.
Oh yeah, we got Tuesday. We're in Atlanta. The North American eRacing League has got a whole new series. The Gander Outdoor Truck Series. What is it? Is it the Gander Outdoor Mountain? What is it?
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to Atlanta tomorrow. 50% race, 2 times wear. The tires fall off there like a son of a gun, and everybody already knows that. The keys to the booth are being handed over to Gator Mike. Now, he did a really good job calling the Daytona race. I believe Big Jim was up there as well. Did a really good job. Tune in tomorrow. I mean, it's going to be entertaining. You'll see me on the track getting the first win of the season for myself.
Oh, is that right there, Avenge? I think I've got something there for you at Atlanta.
We'll have to tune in and see. Watch out for that 99 and maybe the 16. But we'll see you tomorrow. Go ahead and tune in for a great race. Your tire fall off, like I was saying. You're going to have comers and goers. People are going to be pitting. We'll see if they can make the stage on tires. Who knows? I'll see you tomorrow, 8:45.